The Walt Disney Company is betting everything on Rosie O'Donnell. Yes, Rosie, taking over Jimmy Kimmel's spot for the week, likely coming back to The View. And why? So they can get a brand new feud. Rosie, already known for attacking the Orange Man, well, she's got a new target. And it just so happens to be one of Disney's biggest foes. It's Paramount, Skydance. And now Disney is dancing around the fact they're trying to put everything they can in the way of the Ellisons taking over not only Warner Brothers, but CNN. Hello, folks. Hello, friends. Welcome back yet again to the channel where we continue to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. Poor Rosie stands no chance as we show exactly what is happening behind the scenes of Holly Weird. As we dive in, click the like button, and we'll do our job of telling the truth with a capital T for you, indeed. Rosie O'Donnell has lost her mind in her 1 week of being on Jimmy Kimmel, and it is a freak out behind the scenes at Disney. They want to put their finger in the eyes of the administration as they battle with the FCC, but oh my, this may have gone way beyond what even they anticipated. This is being posted by Dom Luker. It says, Rosie O'Donnell went on Jimmy Kimmel Live and mocked President Trump for dodging an attempt to delete him by a different country. Here's the clip. Frankly, folks, I hope we're okay playing this. It's from ABC, not because I think we'll get a copyright, but because this is so out there that I fear playing what she's going to say on YouTube. Culture, you had your hand up. What did you want to say?
I was going to ask if you meant to say Jimmy Come Alive, because that's what it sounded like.
Chameleon. Here we go.
This has been kind of a strange experience for me because all of a sudden I'm re-famous. I'm back in the
No, you're not.
spotlight, all thanks to President Oompa J. Loompa, who is watching us this evening from inside a catering cart. You know, I couldn't have done it without you, sweetie. You brought me back, just like you did with fascism and the measles.
So there you go. Rosie mocking the fact that when a certain country in the Middle East tried to delete the president of the United States, that they used an ingenious way to make sure they could not do so. Rosie mocking that on ABC's primetime network. However, it does seem that Disney has tried to hit the brakes at least a little bit because Kathy Griffin is unhappy that Disney did not let her go on the show with Rosie while Jimmy Kimmel is out. Here is the beheaded one.
I'm just going to come out and say it. Are you ready? It's embarrassing to say, but I have to tell you guys because we're friends. My feelings are really hurt that I was not invited to go on Rosie's week of the Jimmy Kimmel show. And I thought, well, she's the guest host. She may have no say in it. And to this day, I don't know if she has any say in it. As far as I know, she could or could not. How would I know, right? I started getting more correspondence and just friends calling me.
That's enough. That's enough. We don't have to watch it. She might get a head out on the screen. But the
always all about her, isn't it?
Yes, but I will guarantee you that if Rosie O'Donnell could get her on the show, she would be on the show. So Disney has to be the one who's saying, no, this is too far even for us. That Park Place is reporting on this, and this is a big, big deal, folks. You need to know about it. Rosie O'Donnell melts down over Barry Weiss. That's the lady who runs CBS News now, and she's a centrist, over Barry Weiss and Paramount's CNN plans. Pay attention to this because the headline doesn't tell you just how far out there she goes in the same week that she's hosting the Jimmy Kimmel Show and that Disney wants to give her a role on The View for next season. Rosie O'Donnell, allegedly, is apparently very concerned about ideological bias in American media. The comedian who is spending this week guest hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live on ABC unloaded on Paramount CEO David Ellison and CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss during an interview with Variety, warning that the Ellisons gaining control of CNN would supposedly represent a dangerous consolidation of conservative influence over American media. But it's the word she used for this, hang tight, says the problem with O'Donnell's narrative is that Barry Weiss is a particularly bizarre person to cast as some kind of MAGA conservative operative. Weiss has described herself as a centrist or even center-left, supported Democratic presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, supports same-sex, is pro-choice, spent years publicly criticizing Trump. But that doesn't matter because Rosie O'Donnell doesn't think she's far left enough. This is just like what they did with J.K. Rowling. Scroll down and I'll give you what O'Donnell had to say about the situation. The former The View personality, who Disney may put back on The View again, compared the prospect of Ellison controlling CNN and Barry Weiss to Fox News essentially taking over the American news business. She called the situation tragic. She then turned her attention to Weiss and the changes at CBS News. Rosie O'Donnell blamed Barry Weiss for what she sees as the destruction of 60 Minutes and declared of the CBS News editor-in-chief, "I don't know how she can live with herself." And then she called Barry Weiss, who is a not on the right kind of person,
And
a
nice
Yahtzee.
girl.
Right. A Yahtzee.
Why did she steal little Jimmy Dickens' wardrobe?
Lou, let me go to you first on this. Rosie's got her week on Jimmy Kimmel, and she is making as many enemies as fast as she can. In this case, she's going after the Ellisons and Barry Weiss and calling people she disagrees with Yahtzees.
Yeah. Well, that's her shtick. That's what they all do.
So why give her this opportunity if you're Disney, Lou, unless the goal is to offend the very administration that they are battling with the FCC?
It's to justify the fact that when the FCC slaps them down, it's because they're Yahtzees.
Oh, is that going to be in the official paperwork of the FCC that?
Well, no. That's what Disney will say is the excuse. Not that they were not presenting news, not that they were not having guests. And they admitted, by the way, I don't know if you saw, I forget who covered this. They admitted that they hadn't been as inclusive in their guest choices for The View as they should have been.
Right. Well, I saw that. Culture, go to you on this one. Rosie is in for the week, and she is already. Well, I don't know if Disney wants her to do this or not. I mean, surely they lose. Right, they must. But Culture, I don't think this works out very well for them, and I think shareholders should be quite frustrated.
I think picking her was actually a solid choice. It does give her an opportunity to redeem herself, or to make her permanently unhireable for The View.
Yeah,
and again,
this is her audition for The View.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's a great point.
And I look at it, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't see her doing well for The View if she does go back on there. And again, she was excused from The View for after both of her stints in favor of others to come in and replace her. This is something that The View used to do regularly, is replace people on the show. They've needed some major rotation, and ever since Baba Wawa went away, they really haven't replaced the people that they should have, like Whoopi Goldberg and others. And I think that they try to fancy themselves journalists, and the only person who had any legitimate credentials as a journalist passed away long ago and is no longer there. Everybody else is a talking head who has a political ideology, and so Rosie would certainly fit in with them, but I think it would be in such a negative way that it would drive the 2.3 million people that may watch that show during the course of any given week away, maybe by half. I really think she's a ratings deterrent, and we'll find out next week after we get some of the first initial numbers for her.
See, my prediction is that it'll go up because people are going to tune in to see just what a train wreck this is. I don't think it's good, but I think it's like Honey Boo Boo status. I think Rosie O'Donnell is the Honey Boo Boo right now of late night. Lou, if we look at this, this is what, the whole Hollywood business now is under war of politics in every direction. You've got Disney fighting the FCC and trying to claim that The View is legitimate news. They're fighting, with Rosie attacking the Trump administration every night. They did this just to make the Trump administration mad. At the same time, you've got Paramount, which seems to be trying to do a buyout that would be less than Disney buying Fox. And the state of California is doing everything they can to stop them. Rosie for Disney is then going out and mocking Paramount, the Ellisons, and Barry Weiss, and calling them Yahtzees. And meanwhile, Paramount is got to be saying to themselves, who's going to come help us? Because California is determined to they can't bankrupt us, but they're going to make it as painful and awful and terrible as it can be, and actually really damage the entire company and maybe even the box office.
Well, and I know that Culture and I are going to discuss this in more detail at the next hour.
Sure.
But all the theater chains, the DGA, IATSE, everybody is saying, solve this damn thing But Mr. Butt and company, no.
Let me ask you about that, Lou.
I keep saying it's all about CNN and the timing and the midterms. Period.
Okay, which would mean then that Disney is actually, the Disney company is trying to damage the ability of Paramount to buy CNN.
Sure.
Okay, so let me ask you about this. So I agree with you that everybody at this point who has any skin in the game in the industry of cinema is saying, let this go through. You're about to wipe out the box office. All of these wonderful things that are happening, you're about to wipe it out. Meanwhile, this headline we've got over here, Lou, LA County report predicts big job losses if the deal goes through. So the government in California suddenly sees something very different than everybody in the free market sees.
Well, of course, let's take that back a second. If the state had not been so hostile to this, would they move? Maybe not. If the state had not caused all of this, would there be job losses? Maybe not. And when you say job losses, yeah, they'll move, but people have been moving anyway. They've been moving to Atlanta. They've been moving to Nashville. They've been moving all over the place. As I've explained before, one of the things about being a movie employee, they have what they call distant location rates, which means if they take you out of your home base, they have to pay for first class air travel and they have to pay for hotels and per diems. But if you just show up on the day in the new place with some kind of claim to a residency there, all of that goes out the window. Well, that's why people have been moving. They've been moving to these places because that's where the work is, you know. It's going to be pave paradise and put up a parking lot for a lot of these wonderful buildings and places that we've all had in our lives. But it's not new. When Paramount opened their studio there, the home office was in New York City, not here. So.
Lauren, the deal here is that you've got California now being very harsh with Paramount Skydance and putting them in a bind. It's a Chinese finger trap. Paramount Skydance ready to damage California right back. But it's interesting to me that Disney has a hired hand in Rosie O'Donnell coming in for Jimmy Kimmel and immediately going after this one. Like I knew Rosie would go after Trump. Like that's obvious. I knew that she would create friction with the FCC. I get that. But for her to now come out against Paramount and Barry Weiss and call them a bunch of Yahtzees, like Rosie O'Donnell is operating on behalf of Disney for a week to damage their competitor who's trying to finish this deal that's less than the deal that Disney already got approved for in California. Like this reeks so badly. And Rosie, at the end of this, the only person who's ever going to employ her, the only company that's ever going to employ Rosie again is Disney, and that's it.
Are you accusing them somehow of hypocrisy?
Guilty as charged, Lauren.
I mean, come on. I'm not surprised by any of this. They are so angry at the fact that the Netflix deal did not go through. All they want to do is inflict as much possible bloodletting as they can. And right now, it's kind of succeeding. This is throwing up all of their potential plans. If they have to relocate, that is a major, major thing. I don't think they're really paying attention to the fact that Hollywood is in dire, dire trouble at this point. And that's why the theater chains and even the California governor are kind of backpedaling and saying, we need to settle this thing, because they recognize that if they collapse the entire state of California, that's going to end up at their doorstep. Their reputations will be done.
Well, let me ask Lou about this as the final word. Lou, how does this go down now? You've been watching this. You've been paying attention.
The Ellisons will win. The state of California will lose. The business will move. And that's always been how.
Who steps in to make that happen now, Lou? Who stops the AG in California who's gone fully crazy?
Oh, nobody's going to stop him. He's going to keep doing his thing. But the idea that he thinks, well, they've already spent $43 billion. But if we make them spend another $7 billion a month or whatever it is, oh, that'll stop them. Yeah, sure it will. These people are so out of touch. And of course, this Bonta guy, he wants to be the next Gavin. He wants to run for governor, for goodness sakes. So, and Gavin is saying, you're about to totally kill any chance I have of being president by doing this. Don't. And he's saying, well, yeah, but you're yesterday's horse. It's my turn now.
Right. We in California, we want AOC anyway.
Go.
Lou, I said I'd give you the final word. I saw Culture wanting to get in, though. I don't want to stop Culture from having a chance.
I miss that street.
Culture, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I'll just add, well, actually, I'll add this. I think it's a done deal. It doesn't matter if this closes before October 1st. There's no reason for Paramount or any of the studios they control at the end of all of this for them to stick around in California. I think you're going to see production move to Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida before you see anybody decide to move anywhere else. The only other location they've mentioned is Austin, which I think is a disaster if they do. But beyond that, why would you stay in the state of California where it costs more for everything? And that includes the labor because of the unions. It includes the taxes. It includes the gas. It includes the food. It includes everything. Why
your
would
dry
you stay
cleaner,
in
your
California?
dog walker, your everybody is more expensive. They have to be because they just want to survive there.
Yep.
Guys, I'm always looking for the silver lining. You know that.
No.
They call me Silver Lining Pro. I'm always looking
Right
for
now
the
they
grass.
call you Haggis Lining Pro, but that's
Haggis
another story.
The grass is always greener, right? And so in this situation, I'd like to find that little glimmer, that ray of hope. Lauren, do you know what it is?
Tell me.
At least this is still too crazy for Disney.
Yeah,
At least this.
I guess you found it. There you go.
We found the line. It wasn't easy.
By the way, you know what she and Rosie have in common. If God forbid the you-know-who's over there had actually terminated our fearless leader in that plot against his airplane, they would be the first to cheer.
No,
They would.
they would. I agree. Lauren, final thought.
I was just going to say, at least they had the good sense not to put her on, and you did.
I'm sorry. You know, one of the greatest things we get to do each and every day is speak out and reach out to folks who don't know how entertainment works. And frankly, we think entertainment matters so much. It's why we do what we do. And you can help us send this out to even more folks. Click that like button, share, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. And wouldn't you know it, folks, we're even on Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. We've got to go, but until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.